Hey there, CG Math students, and welcome to homework 4.3. This is a practice and preview homework. It is due Monday. You should not have to use calculators on this. It's a preview homework because I'm actually throwing you some algebraic expressions, which are a little bit different than numerical expressions because they contain variables or letters, right? But basically, you can almost, like we did in class today, it says 11 more than b. Look at your chart and your notes and say, okay, what does more than mean? And hopefully you can say, oh, that's 11. So 11 more than, right? That more than phrase is kind of like that less than phrase where you take the 11 and put it on the other side. So it's not 11 plus b, but it's b plus 11. So your answer on that one is A, right? Number 2 is very tricky. Read it carefully. Number 3 says 20 decreased by a number. So 20, look at your chart. Decreased by means what operation? Subtraction. A number. We don't know what the number is. It's just an n for right now. So 20 minus n, d, not n minus 20. N minus 20 would be 20 less than a number. Sorry, I messed up. Less than a number. Okay. Look at number 5. It says 26 less than x. There's that key phrase, less than. Yes, it means subtraction, but you're taking that 26, putting it on the other side of that variable. So x minus 26, not 26 minus x. And then it says the product of a number and 6. The product means multiply. So multiply some number and 6, or 6 times n, or n times 6, or what we'll talk about next week, something just like 6n. So C is your answer. The quotient obviously means division, right? Now notice you don't see a division sign, but a fraction, so n divided by 5, can also be written as n over 5. This also means division. And we know that the answer to a division problem is quotient, so hence why we're using division, so D. Right? On the next section, it says write each algebraic expression as a verbal expression. So if I have m minus 6, I'm just looking for m minus 6. Well, notice I don't see m minus 6, right? I see m less than 6. What would that be? Well, the less than would take the m on the other side of the 6, so that would say 6 minus m. So that actually does not work. That is different than m minus 6. The quotient of 6 and m, that's 6 divided by m, so that doesn't work. Half of 6, that's just 0.5 times 6 times 6, or 6 over 2, right? So that doesn't work. 6 less than n. Oh, the less than, the 6 goes on the other side of the m. That's m minus 6. So D works. So for this, I will not accept your homework unless for every answer choice you have written out what the algebraic expression will be, just like I have on number 9. Number 11, I got n plus 7. So n less than 7 looks like this. The n goes on the other side of the 7. So it's because that less than word. So that's 7 minus n. Nope, that's not the answer. The product of n and 7. Well, product means multiplication. So that's n dot 7, n times 7. So that's not it. N times 7 would be the same thing. N times 7. So that's not it. The sum, oh, that means plus of n and 7. That's n plus 7. Oh, it has to be my answer. So notice how, again, I've showed all my work for problem number 9 and 11. I will not accept your homework if you have just circled an answer for these problems. Number 13, 16 divided by n, or 16 over n. So n less than 16, again, take that n, put it on the other side, 16 minus n. That's not it. N cubed. Cubed, remember, is just n to the third. So, nope, that's not it. The quotient of n and 16, n divided by 16, or n over 16. Is that what we want? No! We have 16 over n, so that's not it. The quotient of 16 and n. Yes, 16 divided by n, or 16 over n, and D is our answer. Okay. And number 15, I have r times 11. So some number times 11, right? 11 to the r? No, that would look like 11 to the r. That's wrong. The product of r and 11, r times 11, because the word product means times. So it looks like B is our answer. Half of 11, that'd be like 11 over 2, or 0.5 times 11. Those means the same thing, but that's not what we have. 11 squared, that would be 11 to the 2. So no, that's not it. So B is our answer. And lastly, we have some algebraic problems where you want to use the order of operations. So number 17, obviously we want to use PEMDAS to solve this. So we have 6 minus 12 divided by 1 minus 3. Do I have parentheses? I sure do. I do 1 minus 3. And 1 minus 3 is negative, so be very careful. That is a negative 2, right? So now I have 6 minus 12 divided by negative 2, right? So do I have any exponents? No, I don't. Do I have multiplication or division? I have division. And look, it might be helpful to change all minus signs to plus a negative, plus a negative. Now I'm asking myself, is that a minus sign or a negative sign? Well, now I know it's a negative 12 divided by a negative 2, and a negative divided by a negative, that's SSP, same sign's positive. So that gives me a negative 12 divided by negative 2, a positive 6. So now I have 6 plus 6, and my answer is positive 12. Think about, had you gotten negative 6 there, then you would have thought your answer was 0. So it's very important to keep track of your signs. Again, on number 18, write PEMDAS. Keep track of your signs. Maybe write an SSP or DSN when necessary. Maybe if I were you, instead of saying negative 3 minus 1, say negative 3 KCC plus negative 1. Instead of saying minus 6, say plus negative 6. It means the same thing, right? All right, and lastly, on number 19 through 24, these are problems like we saw on a homework before. Basically, what I'm asking you to do is to take these values and plug in for the variables, right? So x plus y plus z is actually written as x is 7, so 7 plus y is 15 plus 15 plus z is 8. 8. So basically, you're just doing order of operations to say what is 7 plus 15 plus 8. And you get your answer of 30, right? Because 7 plus 15 is 22. 22 plus 8 is 30. Right? Number 20, it says x is, again, still stays 7. So it's 7 plus 2. And then when I plug in my z, I'm actually going to plug in with parentheses. Now that is not 28. Not 28. It is 2 times 8. So order of operations tells us to do multiplication before addition. So 2 times 8 is actually, oops, let's erase that line, sorry. It's getting confusing. 2 times 8 is 16, right? So then 7 plus 16 gives you your answer of 23. Let's try number 21. We have x, which is, again, 7. So plug it in with parentheses, 7. Z, which is 8. Plug it in with parentheses. That's not 78. That's 7 times 8. Plus 3, and then plug in y, which is 15. So notice, instead of the letters, the variables, I have the numbers that they're equal to, right? So 7 times 8, we do multiplication first. Those aren't parentheses, it's multiplication. So 7 times 8 is 56, plus 3 times 15. And then before I do 56 plus 3, I got to do 3 times 15, because multiplication comes before addition. So 3 times 15 is 45. So I'm left with 56 plus 45. 56 plus 45 is your answer of 101. So I've done those first 3. You'll do the bottom 3. Call me if you have questions.